Hair past the freckle?
Yes.
Yep, I knew it. That being said,
It's been too long.
Too long. Wait, God dang it. You had to. Your first time here. Your first time back.
Welcome to the Nerdentials podcast, starring your hosts, Joe Tweedy, Matthew Johnson, Nick Thomas, and Lynn Dudgeon.
Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of the nerdy essentials covering film, TV, video games, and comic books. I'm your host, Joe Tweeden, and joining me is the four horsemen of the Nerdocalypse tonight. Yes, I am excited to welcome back a long, thought-renounced guest, but also co-partner to the whole Nerdentials thing. We have the red-headed ginger himself, the Matthew Johnson.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Matthew, it is so good to have you back. For at least this one.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to this Xbox thing that we're going to be talking about later on, I mean, I had to...
It was a passionate topic you needed to be here for, and we're excited to have you. So, not to neglect the other two horsemen of this apocalypse, in the opposite corner or side of me on this Ethernet is my now neighbor, nary less than a mile away from me, but still the Skype delay, the Lynn Dudgeon.
Hello.
Oh, give me more than that. This is a huge reunion.
Alright, ready?
The Lynn Dudgeon.
Hello.
There it is. Thank you, sir. As always, you're always here, but not always. Sorry, I got a little mental there. Also, the final horseman tonight in this circle of nerdism is the Nick Thomas. Hi, Nick.
Just thought I'd be silent just for the sake of it, because everyone else had something else to say, so...
You know what? Nice
What
bit.
up, G?
Ready to go in dry?
Yes.
Is he talking? Because I can't hear him.
You can't hear me?
Just kidding.
Guys,
Murder.
the four of us are here all at once for Nerdentials Podcast, episode 93. Lynn, what does that mean?
Ooh, we're that much closer to 100.
One more closer to 100. You're starting to forget the bit. Damn.
Right?
Just messing with you. Yes, we are one more closer to 100. We're now on the cusp of that. I've got a nice reunion montage of outtakes, and there will be a few with Matthew in it, thankfully, now that he came back for this episode.
They'll probably all come from this episode.
I expect a lot of them to, actually, yes. I will take the extra time to cut and crop the edit just right. So, guys, we are here to talk about something. Okay, Lynn, you're missing a finger. God, stop screwing around with the green screen. Oh my God, you're an alien. Okay, anyway, guys,
Then he has no ears.
I mean, that much is true. It's weird. It's weird. See, mine cut out periodically, but if I turn to one side, I at least sort of get one headphone. Yeah, we got the mouthpiece there for a second. Anyway, guys.
That's what she said.
Guys, welcome to episode 93. Little bit of housekeeping, because we seem to be neglecting this lately. Guys, if you are listening to us without any faces, you're probably on a podcast. And we're across all platforms now. Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Apple Music, you name it, we're there. Go look for us. Additionally, if you're seeing us while listening, you're probably on YouTube. YouTube.com/C/Nerdentials. Or just type in Nerdentials. We have a unique name, so it's easy to find. But additionally, guys, there's one spot where you can find all these crazy fun shenanigans, including written articles and reviews and other things like that. one nice little, I know, and Matt remembers it like the back of his hand. Go to the website nerdentialsmedia.com. There's the triple harmony. Guys, yeah, nerdentialsmedia.com. That's where you'll find all the shows, video or audio or otherwise, if you want it all in one place. Anyway, guys, that does it for that. Thank you for joining us. Today, guys, we are covering the Xbox Series X Games Showcase 2020. Microsoft posted this only a couple days ago, and we are going to give you our reactions to all the reveals and talk about all the games coming in this episode. So without further ado, guys, I can only do one thing, and that is to tell you we're going to jump into Gaming Bits. Guys, welcome to Gaming Bits. As I said before, we're covering the Xbox Game Showcase of 2020. And right up front, the flagship mascot of Microsoft Gaming, we are going to talk about the wonderful, not only teaser trailer cinematic, but also the 8 whopping minutes of gameplay reveal of the much anticipated 5 years in the making Halo Infinite, or aka Halo 6, Infinite. But many might say this is, for Microsoft, a spiritual reboot. We'll have to see. We got a bit of the plot and some ideas on where this is going, and a lot to talk about, at least for this first reveal. So what I want to do first thing, I want to go around the table. I want to get the hot takes from everyone about how they felt about what they saw. So, and because Matt is our returning host, long time coming, and he saw it live when it aired, I want to know what your thoughts, sir, were as you were watching it, and what you hope to see out of this game.
Okay, I'll put this in very, very layman's terms, I guess. The game looks so freaking crisp, and I mentioned that on the freaking, like, to you, Joe, to Nick. I didn't mention it on the Discord because Lynn didn't see it. I didn't want to, like, ruin something, if, whatever.
Spoilers.
But
he cares a lot after Episode 8 of Star Wars. Matt's careful nowadays.
Yes. Anyways, but that gameplay, it's to me, it's bringing Halo back to where it used to be, as in like in 2 and 3, as far as the look and not the look and feel, because the look is just gorgeous.
It's 2020, man. But
yeah, I know. It's the feel of it looks like it's something where I put a lot of time and energy into the first 3 Halos. Not so much Reach, not so much 4, not so much 5. Because I felt that they kind of lacked. But this kind of is giving me the feeling of yes.
Yes, that's fantastic, because we're going to break down what we're excited about, like, detail-wise, but I just want to get your hot take on it.
It's gorgeous. Like, for me personally, I'm saying it's a 10 out of 10. Like, I can't, I'm not even gonna deny it's probably gonna shoot for Game of the Year.
I hope so. I'm gonna pass it down over to Lynn, who just freshly saw it, because he works a lot right now, even during this time of uncertainty. He's still a hardworking man, but he had time right before our recording to check out. And what were your raw feelings after watching it, sir? Hold on. We got to fix something. You're not coming through.
How if I didn't have myself muted? That'd work. Hey.
Outtake number 3, episode 100, guys. All right, Lynn, what was your raw feelings?
I was saying that I really like the open world feel of everything. I I would love a sandbox Halo, and this feels like it very much so. And I liked the weapons that were showcased within. And I did see that enemy that you were talking about that you said felt very much like Gaul.
Gaul and Lobo. A mix between
Yeah.
Gaul and Lobo from the DC universe. Anyone agree with me?
Yeah, I'd see it. I like how you said he felt less turtley than Gaul does. But
Yeah.
he feels more gorilla-y,
Oh, yeah, totally.
like the rasp in his voice.
Nick, your hot take, sir.
Was Lynn done?
Was that all you wanted to say right now?
No, I'm cool.
It's a hot
That's it,
take.
yeah.
Okay. Nick.
Well, where you say he's like a Gaul in that, I actually am in the middle of playing Halo Wars 2. So having the Brutes be the main bad guy in Halo Wars 2, he kind of fits along that whole field there, like Dominus.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, no, but I was reading up on this.
This is
Halo
all-
Infinite. Chris Lee, the studio head of 343, has said via Twitter that this game will be a continuation of the last installment of Halo 5 Guardians. So it continues the story where we left off.
Right. Many podcasters, especially over at IGN with Podcast Unlocked, have speculated, Ryan McCaffrey himself has speculated that this is supposed to be the Halo 6, but I do see that there is a potential of an ongoing thing. We don't know yet, but there is a solid campaign with a solid story, and we did hear rumors for several years now that this was going to pick up where 5 left off, but hopefully on the right foot based on what we saw. But how did you feel about the rest of the 8-minute gameplay presentation?
Matt said it perfectly. It was crisp. Just the movements, the gunplay, everything stepped up to the next level when it comes to Halo for me. I like some of the new gadget. It looks like Master Chief has like that freaking hook shot thing.
Hook shot. Mm-hmm. We'll
It was
talk about it in a minute.
freaking ridiculous. No, have you guys played 5 and finished it?
Matt has. Me and Lynn have not.
All the way through. Yeah. Why?
Well, it's on Game Pass, so if you get a chance, I recommend playing it just to know the story. If not, I can give you a quick rundown.
I mean, I don't. Lynn, do
where
you
we are.
care?
Go for it.
We're gonna
I'm-
co-op this
I'm-
shit, guys, because we still need to do that. Remember? But
Alright.
go ahead and give us the reference you're trying to make.
Halo Infinite is going to pick
Wait.
up right where Halo 5 left off.
Oh, sorry, Matt.
What?
Did you need to interject?
I was gonna say I'm still waiting for freaking Gears 5 to play with you guys. Like
I-
I've been sitting on that on my butt.
Same.
Let's talk at the end of this episode about when we can do that. Okay?
Yeah.
Go on, Lynn. Nick. Sorry.
Halo 5 left off with a revived Cortana and the Created, a group of AI who believe themselves superior to organic life, seizing control of the galaxy using the Guardians. If you remember correctly, in 4, they're the big, massive construct created by the Forerunners. The Created are determined to bring order by force and have the tools to do it now. The last thing we saw in the game on 5 was the Infinity's crew fleeing Cortana's forces, and the Master Chief regrouping with allies, getting ready to fight.
Right. So we had a 5-year cliffhanger on our hands. Don't worry. I will put a spoiler warning prior to you saying all that, just so if anyone wants to skip this because they haven't got to it yet, they can. But go
It's
ahead.
been 5 years. Screw it.
Nah, I would agree, dude. But it's such a
Slap
wonder.
you.
There's so many wonderful games out there that yeah. I'd say 5 to 10 years. You missed your mark. Get over it. But
The
Halo
reason
5 was not the best, but
Yeah.
okay.
the reason why this game looks so crisp, looks so cool, looks so freaking smooth is because they implemented their new game engine. Their new engine is called Slipspace Engine. And it's supposed to deliver 4K 60 FPS on the Xbox One X.
Yep.
And not even the Series S. That's supposed to be on the Xbox One X. So I can only hope what we're going to see on the Series X.
That, and I did get confirmation, side nerd note, that there has been, I do want to recognize that there has been, the internet is a cesspool of negativity often, and to speak to that, a good chunk of internet goers have vented or complained that it didn't look as crisp as you guys are all saying it was. I would argue, and several people have argued in their articles, several professional places of media have stated, first off, this may not have been the best place for us to witness this game because they had to present it over a live stream. So not everyone has the best internet, and the biggest complaint was seeing blurring due to streaming, not because the game can't push it. No, I know. You guys can shrug your shoulders. Matthew, you've got great internet. Nick has pretty good internet, too. You guys probably saw the best version that you could have. So what I'm trying to say is that what I want to speak on is what I did learn in an article was it was a PC build.
I watched it on my phone. LTE.
Matthew, I get it. Regardless. What people are saying is also that that was just a slice of life. As we know in the industry, when they show a demo, it's just a slice of the game build at that time, and they still have a couple more months to fine-tune things. Plus, it is going to be running on the Xbox Series X at its best. That's what President Phil Spencer constantly pushes and promotes, that the best visual fidelity you're going to see is on the new system coming out. And yes, it will be playable on Xbox One and PC, depending on what power level of PC you got. But that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to be a proper journalist, if we're trying to be that. I just wanted to share what has been said on the internet about it, but also say that I'm 100% hopeful and confident that it will, what do you call it? Provide its promises to us.
Yes. And on top of the same thing, when you do play it on Xbox One with the new cloud, when you get the Series X...
Yeah, xCloud, the new streaming service.
It's just going to take your stuff and put it on that system.
Which,
what is that called again? It's called Smart something.
Yeah, smart delivery. Me and Lynn were stumbling upon what it was called a few episodes back. It's called Smart Delivery, which means even if you buy it on the Xbox One, you're going to get the next-gen version of most games when you jump into the next-gen console. And we'll get into that at a later time. We're just going to talk about the games that were revealed and dive into them. But because what I read today is that, first off, before we finish with Halo, I want to say it was announced up front in the stream. Phil Spencer himself said all the games revealed today, the 25 plus revealed in the stream, are all going to be available to Game Pass owners.
On Game Pass, yes.
So if you're paying the $10 a month for the base Game Pass or Ultimate for $15 a month, you are guaranteed to have access to all these games revealed today on day one when they release, and you don't at no extra charge. It's like Netflix. You're gonna download the game and play it the day it comes out. That's a lot of freaking games because all these third-party ones too are also going to be on freaking Game Pass that we're going to talk about today. That's nuts. And the one last thing, Matthew, I'll get to you in 1 second. They also said it was revealed that xCloud, many people thought, they're going to charge something for it. How are they going to sustain anything? Nope. It will be it's included with Ultimate. You will pay no extra dime if you are paying for Game Pass Ultimate. xCloud will be on it. So day one, Halo Infinite, you can play on your Xbox One or your flippin' phone. Not flip phone, a stinking phone.
Yeah. No, and then one of the last things I got to say about Halo Infinite is they've touted that this is their biggest Halo game yet.
Yes. And yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm
just
completely stoked and have a nerd boner going.
So-
It's cool.
What
I
I
was gonna
want,
say I got a semi going right now just talking about it.
guys, what I want to do before we exit this title. Okay, real quick. If you guys are ready.
No.
Okay, well, either way. Just kidding. Let's briefly, not a deep breakdown, but let's break down a few things we were excited about that we saw that were either fresh or new in the gameplay reveal. And one that comes to the forefront of my mind, I want you guys to tell me what you think. After seeing the gameplay and then going back and watching the cinematic, you know, the what is it, Step In or Become, and then it said Halo Infinite. It was like a cinematic 1.5 minute thing, where they showed the exosuit Mjolnir being not Mjolnir. That's Thor.
Exosuit from the Mjolnir program.
Sorry, well, it's a similar name. Yeah. Anyway,
I get what you're saying though.
when Master Chief's suit was being built and Cortana's voice was narrating about the complexity of the suit and how it still can't come alive without a host to bring it to life, and we see John 117 being stamped on the suit, and we're like, oh, that's the Master Chief. In that moment, the first moment of that scene, we see something being built for a glove, and then we see what looks like an arrow device being attached to that gauntlet. And I didn't think anything of it until we saw the gameplay where we saw Master Chief repeatedly using a freaking hook shot. 1, to pull himself to enemies, and 2, to pull himself to other physical objects. So, 1, about time, my hot take, that we get a little more mobility with Halo. Not that it lacked, but it's a nice surprise. What are your guys' thoughts on this hook shot?
I like
Ridiculous.
being able to pull enemies to you, or
Come
to
over
pull
here!
yourself to it. Yeah.
It's definitely got the Mortal Kombat feel. I think it's like overdue personally, because it's something that should have been implemented in probably back in 4 probably, but I digress.
I'm not gonna knock it, but we all know the reason why they threw it in there.
Hold on. I know where you're going with this, but this has been in development for 5 years, and we can't just assume that a complex mechanic like this was thrown in last minute because Doom Eternal came out. Am I wrong?
The Doom guy has had the hook shot for the last 2 games.
Okay, I missed out on the last 2 games, so you make a fair point, sir. Sorry. Because
But
with
it's
game,
a wonderful mechanic that people love.
yeah.
And you're seeing it more and more often in games.
Yeah. I also like the shield that pops out that freaking you can shoot through.
That was a nice new add-on for the Chief. What else? Lynn, you pointed out weapons, and I know we got 2 fresh takes on some alien plasma-based weapons. What looks like a plasma shotgun with insane accuracy, and the revamped plasma rifle itself, which works more like an SMG. How'd you feel about those?
Freaking very crisp.
Yeah.
Are you making fun of me, sir? I don't like this.
No, I'm not. I promise. I like how all the pellets homed with the shotgun. That was killer.
Yeah.
Also, the distance he was hitting enemies with that shotgun-like device. Ooh.
There were
And
even a
if I
few-
may,
Oh.
it looked like you could BXR again.
Yeah.
If anybody knows what that means.
Oh, yeah. Halo 2? Or was it back when Halo 1? I thought Halo 2 was when multiplayer...
Halo 2.
epitomized the concept of the BXR combo, the shot melee combo.
Because, like, when he popped out that pistol after he freaking hit the guy, like, that was freaking quick. It wasn't even...
Or when he hookshotted to someone and then meleeed them instantly, like, upon pulling himself to an enemy.
Oh,
Lynn?
oh no, I was gonna say freaking shot, then pulled himself into a melee.
Yeah.
I just got to say something else about that hook. I'm watching the video right now. I watched him do something in there that I didn't notice until right now. Not only can he pull himself up to things, pull himself to people and all that, any of the loose objects like the explosive barrels on the ground, he can pull towards him.
I saw that. Like, he pulled something to him and then threw it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And also, real quick, I know there's 2 points I want to cover on our overall thoughts: the main villain and the open world aspect of the game. Before we wrap up this and then streamline through the next few titles, what are you guys' overall thoughts on the nature of this open world gameplay?
It's about damn time. Sorry.
No, I was going to direct the conversation because otherwise everyone's waiting for someone to talk. Matthew, about damn time, you say.
Yeah, like, if you're on Halos, you should have the ability to, like, go anywhere and everywhere without having to, like, actually do the main campaign. Like, this aspect of it just makes me just want to play it even more.
And a quick point to what you're saying that I think all of us are thinking. And one question that was posed is like, okay, if it's open world, how is it going to differ from the standard FPS versus an RPG? And something the developer said in the video in the stream was that it's going to offer more opportunities of attack based on objectives, not necessarily side quests like what an RPG is, but you're going to still have like your main 2-3 objectives in a single mission, but you're given the freedom to tackle them any direction you want to. And that reminds me and is reminiscent of Splinter Cell. You go back to the early 2000s, it's a very linear game still, but you are given multiple ways of attacking that objective, and I think that's what we're going to be offered here in an open world Halo. Nick, your hot take on open world, what do you think about it, and what do you hope you'll be able to do in it?
Everything?
Well, I don't think we can go farming. That's other games do that. I don't think it's going to be a life simulation. What
about mining?
That too, I'm not sure. They've already got Minecraft for that, honestly. But
no, I expect a lot out of it. That big team battle feel, but on a regular campaign setting.
Yeah.
Matt remembers sometimes me and him playing some Halo on some big team battle.
Oh heck yeah! Big team battle all the way.
Oh yeah. We didn't see many new vehicles, but I'm hoping to see some new ones. I'm hoping to see some different interactions other than just kill and destroy with the vehicles, because how big the place is. I'm hoping we're able to get more into the inner workings of this gigantic ring.
How about the level of detail on that warthog we saw?
Yeah.
Like, it mechanically does the same thing, but there was like so many little details, little tinks on the back. It was a beautiful piece of reality I want to have. Guys, let's quickly talk. What do we feel about... Okay, we don't know the full plot, but we do know the enemies involved. And how about that final, very personal message directed straight at Chief, which directly, indirectly is straight at you, the player, like a personal message to you. And how do we feel about that? And also, how about what he said at the end, where he hopes that we are strong enough to battle him, and he said this big story will outlive... He hopes that the legend of us, me and him fighting, the legend of us is going to outlive ourselves, basically. I'm sort of quoting that correctly, but that was pretty, like, intense. He was basically clarifying, we're both going to be dead at some point, and our legend will outlive, the history of this story. Lynn, we fought. I know all of us have played Destiny, but how are your thoughts on Bungie's take on a more personal attack from a direct villain? How do you feel about that?
It feels real this time. It feels like there's something that's there to chase after.
This is a much more personal story compared to all previous Halos, isn't it? I mean, just based on that direct villain message, right?
Yeah.
Matt's a little preoccupied. I want to toss it over to Nick. How do you feel about the villain?
Very classic Halo villain. Seems like most other villains, they have their own personal quest. And they feel they're in the right. Most of them in the past have been religious zealots. This one seems like he is out for the prize. He wants to be the best. And the only way he can do that is take down the demon that took down the Covenant.
So, my posing question to you, Nick, real quick, is he classic Halo? Because when you look back at all the previous iterations that Master Chief has fought, Halo 1 was against a mass group. Granted, there were leaders, but it wasn't just a single leader. And then we had the Arbiter, who eventually became a nemesis. Then we had Locke, and I know Halo 5 is very divisive, and a lot of people did not care for that secondary storyline with Locke, and maybe he is comparable, I don't know. But this feels like the first villain where you don't get to see his perspective. You're just getting attacked head on by this one dude. Granted, he's got an army backing him up, but remember, there were the 3 prophets or whatever from Halo 3, and they thought it was a huge religious thing, but now we've got this solo villain with an army behind him who's direct messaging you. It feels very Destiny 2 Gaul, obviously, but doesn't that seem a little different?
It does, but
I mean, that's not really an arguing point. It was just something I wanted to point out.
No, the only reason why I said it's very classic is they have to give Master Chief a larger-than-life villain because he's a large-life hero.
Right.
He falls into an area everyone's ooh and ah and scared of Master Chief.
Right.
Everyone in the UNSC pretty much reveres him. So they have to throw someone with just as much clout against him. My
follow-up question, and you're the last of it here.
Oh, sorry.
Is how do you feel about the villain in this? Yeah.
Not gonna lie, when I heard his voice, I was thinking Gaul all the way from Destiny 2, because it was just uncanny. I was like, is this Destiny 3? What? No.
That's the funny.
I think it's
yeah.
I think he's gonna be a good combatant if you go back to like Halo 2 and the end of that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually probably my favorite boss battle because it didn't have to deal with getting into a vehicle and leaving, the area because it's about to explode. Right.
That's right. Totally.
But I like boss battles at the end. That's just, yeah. I think we're gonna be good. Word.
Well, guys, that was lengthier than expected, but maybe not totally expected because it's Halo. We've had 5 years to wait on this, and I think at a later time, closer to release, we'll have more time to probably talk about said topic. So what I want to do now is I want to take this time to kind of sort of blaze through the next set of titles. There is one that we don't know much about enough really to expound upon, so it will be short simply by the nature of its reveal, if you will. But then we'll go through the rest of them, and then we'll cap off with some heavier hitters. Guys, our next title up right now, it was actually at the end of the stream, and I know Matt will want to listen to this part because it was only a 1-minute teaser, but it confirmed all our suspicions for the last 3 years of speculation. We got, let me set the scene real quick. We're in a forest, we're following a fairy, she's just minding her own business. She's smelling the flowers, and we hear a very classic British narrator talking about the environment and the adventure at hand, very ambiguously, and I would say a very familiar voice was spoken. And then suddenly, the fairy is snatched up by a massive bullfrog, and without missing a beat, the narrator says, "Well, not everyone gets a happy ending." And then the camera pans up to a city off in the distance, a glistening, wonderful fantasy-based city, and we see the massive golden letters, Fable, displayed across the scene.
Not gonna lie, before I saw the words Fable displayed across the scene, I kind of got my hopes up and was thinking, oh my god, is this another Bard's Tale?
Oh, not knocking that. But hot takes real quick. Nick, that was your impression prior to seeing it. What was your hot take after seeing it?
I'm totally excited. The last Fable game we had any news on, they got mostly done, then scrapped it. And it dashed all our hopes of having a Halo game. I mean, a Fable game. Halo's still in the brain. A Fable game, and but this looks like it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be continuation. I think it's going to be a new retelling of the whole Fable series because it's a new dev team. It's Playground Games.
A division from the group that works on the Forza racing games.
Yeah, but so they're used to making photorealistic games.
Right.
So we're going to get some really high fidelity fantasy game going on here.
But it
might not be as cartoony as we're used to.
But also, I don't know who all was hired, but I know Microsoft hired some outside talent that have RPG backgrounds to work with Playground, because they have not ever done like a multi-branching story, or they do have an open world experience because we got Forza Horizon 4, the most recent one that was completely open world racing. So they do have the sandbox concept, and they are an incredible team of talent. The other thing we know is that the narrator himself, if you listen to his words, he said, "But this is where your story begins." And we're like, whoa. Okay, so we had 3 Fable titles going through time playing as one character, and now they're telling us, the player, that our story is going to begin. So my hot take is, BAM! Total reboot of the franchise. Not remake, but reboot, still set in Albion. Let me get... Matthew's got his fingers up. He wants his hot take. Matthew, go ahead.
Okay, in all Fable games, all Fable 3, like Fable 1, Fable 2, Fable 3, all of them said that your story begins at that point. And you're always a continuation of 50 years after the last legend.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Matthew, you squandered my entire theory.
No, but even Microsoft describes it as a brand new beginning for the legendary franchise.
Yeah, so time era, we're definitely not going to pick up from the industrial era of number 3 and going forward further. We're definitely probably going back as far as time goes, as far as the setting. And that's completely fine. Fable could potentially be the Final Fantasy of Xbox. You know, every Final Fantasy has some sequels to them, but for all intents and purposes, every Final Fantasy title is a completely different take in a similar world, different eras, different characters, carrying similar themes throughout, and always the title Final Fantasy. So, I'm not saying we're going to see Fable 15, but I think, yeah, you could speculate that we might be going definitely back in time, but maybe a different story entirely, set in the same world, possibly. I mean, there's a lot of room for speculation. Lynn, do you have any thoughts? Have you ever played the older Fables, for that matter?
I've played all the other Fable games.
What do you think? Do you have any speculation? Do you think it's a reboot to the original with a slightly different angle, or do you think it's a completely different story?
I feel like it'll probably be a different story.
Yeah.
They'll try to do something new, something fresh. We already saw something blue in the trailer. And the frog obviously borrowed that blue thing.
I think it is fair to say, though, that it's going to be in the same world, for sure, and we are going to get the same narrative humor based on the teaser.
I just want to kick some chickens.
You want to kick some chickens? Matthew, final thoughts. Do you have any speculative ideas on what this teaser leads us to?
My speculatory thing is I think it's going to... It's not a continuation. I think it's going to be a different telling of the same kind of story, per se. But it's going to be, like, in a different perspective as far as the legend is concerned.
Agreed.
I think it would be kind of cool since it's not a numbered title or anything else. It actually makes me think they might go a different route that no one's even thinking of.
There's that
MMO.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would be down for a Fable world-based MMO.
Oh, well, you're not wrong. Because, I mean, they teased when they first had Fable, like, about, 3-4 years ago, when they were trying to tell us that it was coming. It was supposed to be like a 4-player multiplayer.
Well, yeah, that was
aspect.
Yeah.
That they could go off of that and make it an MMO. I mean, I wouldn't be sad about that, to be honest.
No, you'd be playing it with me.
I'd put 10,000 hours into it.
with me.
With Nick.
Yes, thank you.
And Lynn. And Joe.
I will say this.
Nerdentials will own Fable.
While I'm down for a preemptive strike against the Nerdentials team, I am also in favor of a single-player experience, too. Not to diminish the idea of the MMO, but my hopes are in both places. I just want it to be a great Fable game. And I think we'll get that. Even in the short teaser we got, they covered all the flavors of what we know Fable to be, even though it was a pure CG. Nick, that will show up in the edit, and I will not squash your hopes and dreams.
Perfect.
Not intentionally.
That was funny.
So, I think now's a good time to blaze through and get just some hot takes on these next few titles. We'll just touch on... We might skip a couple that we literally know nothing about, so that we can get down to the slightly more anticipated topic. D2.
Well, the next one next one isn't one we don't know anything about. This one is actually a good one.
Are you talking about Stalker 2?
I am.
Okay, I'm going to need you to lead me on just where this comes from, because I've never played the first one.
It's a survival shooter. It's based off the original game, Stalker: Ghost of Chernobyl.
Ooh, okay. What else do we know, sir?
It's a survival horror. You're based. You're in a survival horror in the wastelands of what happened after Chernobyl. All the mutated creatures, everything. It's kind of very Metro-esque. And it's freaking wicked. Stalker is one of those games that kind of grabs you by the gonads with some of its jump scare stuff. It's actually really, really good.
Interesting. Now, what I've seen online is its only platform for release right now is PC. Does that sound accurate? Did the first one ever come to console?
I don't know if it ever came to console. I played it on PC.
Okay. Oh, well, there you
PC
go.
Master Race.
Stalker never came to console.
Well, as of for now, it looks like Game Pass Ultimate PC players will be getting this one. It is published by GSC Game World and developed by GSC Game World. Right on. So, hey, cool, dude. All I know is my hot take is just it looks really freaking cool. And it makes me continually remember that I need to eventually get a gaming PC. I'll leave it at that. Any other thoughts before we move on, guys? Any other thoughts about this one? Nothing. That's perfectly fine.
Now, I wonder if they're going to do Stalker 2 the same way they did the first one. The original game wasn't just one game. It was a series of multiple games in one game.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Or revolving around that same feel.
Oh. An anthology game. Interesting.
Yes.
I like that. I will definitely have to check that out at some point, or you will have to show me what you have played. Okay, next title, another quick, cool...
Hold on.
Okay.
Stalker 2 will be coming to console.
Oh.
It's on console.
Oh.
It's a Xbox exclusive.
All right, fair enough. Cool. You guys heard it here first, possibly. Well, because Phil Spencer said everything is going to be available on Game Pass, and he didn't specify there were any PC exclusives on that Game Pass aspect, so I think it would be fair to assume until we hear more. Guys, our next title up is from a wonderful, infamously amazing RPG developer known as Obsidian Entertainment. And they have multiple projects coming out. We'll briefly mention Grounded next, but that is either out now or in a couple days from the time of this recording. Grounded is on a game going straight to Game Pass, but Obsidian is known for so many other things, and they're coming out with a wonderful fantasy RPG, first-person perspective, kind of like the Bethesda business of the Elder Scrolls. It's called Avowed. And we got a brief stint of gameplay showing the first-person perspective. On this table, are there any hot takes on this? And how do you guys feel about this tease? And I know we all love Obsidian Entertainment content. Anyone?
Wait, are we talking about Avowed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You have a hot take? Matt's a little preoccupied at home, but do you have any thoughts, hot takes on Avowed, the FPS coming from Obsidian Entertainment?
When I first saw the trailer, I was like, yes, here's my money. Because what it looked like to me was like a cross between BioShock and Elder Scrolls, in my perspective.
Yep.
Like, it was just like the ability to have magic at your hand while having a melee weapon at the same time, instead of having to switch, that kind of thing.
They're also known for the Outer Worlds, which also came straight to Game Pass, which was also incredible. Nick?
Avowed, I honestly think it is their fantasy medieval adventure follow-up to Outer Worlds. I feel they're going to use the same style of RPG that they did in Outer Worlds and stuff like that, because they have a pretty good pedigree in doing stuff like this. Fallout New Vegas, Outer Worlds. It would behoove them to keep with the same formula. It works well. A nice little bit of snarkiness, good storyline, and a good hook. I honestly think that they will be straight competitors with the likes of Bethesda with a game like this.
Word. I'd like to read a brief excerpt from rectifygaming.com. I know.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but it's one of the first articles that came up about this, and while doing a quick search. But in the presentation, it says, quote, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty expands further on Avowed's backstory and the team's ambitions for the new title. When Obsidian Entertainment first joined Xbox Game Studios, they told us that this epic game is the one they want to make. As creators of critically acclaimed RPGs, this is Obsidian at their best, and it is being built from the ground up to take full advantage of the power of the Xbox Series X. Now, further details on the upcoming project have been revealed regarding upcoming information or a release date on the new title from Obsidian Entertainment. But that's, yeah, they don't. It's in early development, very obviously. But
I just read into.
Go ahead.
And I'm super excited. Have any of you played Pillars of Eternity?
Lynn has, and I have copies of it.
Avowed is based in the world of Pillars of Eternity.
Oh, yeah? Ooh.
Yes. Avowed is based... I just read it.
Aora? The fantasy world of Aora.
Yep. Aora, and we'll see stuff like the Drywood and different places like that. Yes! I love Pillars of Eternity. It's a fantastic game.
All right.
Do you think it'll incorporate the gods from Pillars?
I would assume so.
That would be fantastic.
Because it's supposed to be a first-person RPG version of Pillars of Eternity. So you'll have the magic, the gods, the kingdoms, the nation, the warring nations. I expect we'll see some political intrigue like you did in the Pillars of Eternity.
Question, Matthew.
I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about.
Okay.
It's on Game Pass. You should download it. It's actually really good. It's top-down view RPG.
Top-down, reminiscent of age-old RPGs like Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale. Top-down, isometric, multiple-choice dialogue windows RPG. It's one of those.
Okay. What's it called? Pillars of what?
Pillars of Eternity.
The first one is available on Game Pass. The second one I have because Lynn bought it. But yes, and the second one is fully scripted. Like, all the dialogue is spoken, voiceover acting. It's insane.
Nice. All right.
All right, guys, moving on. Let's take a few more hot takes here on some other titles coming that sound pretty exciting. So next up, we have State of Decay 3. Now, as announced during the July Xbox Game Showcase, a sequel to the open-world zombie survival game series, State of Decay, is on the way. This is no surprise to fans of the franchise who've been hoping for a follow-up since State of Decay 2, all available on Game Pass, guys, and when that came out in 2018, from developer Undead Labs. Rumors have popped up here and there to add credence to that idea too. Unfortunately, the new teaser for the game was just a short cinematic trailer and offered more in the way of hype than content, but confirmation that the game is coming is a good thing. This is from Looper.com that I am quoting right now. The showcase featured a little information about a lot of different games, but Microsoft has promised that more about the title featured is forthcoming. Fans of State of Decay can only hope that's true, and they'll see many more zombie deer and maybe even more sinister creatures in the months to come. Now, a hot take on that trailer, guys. Anyone that's played State of Decay knows it's your typical zombie survival, third-person, semi-top-down sort of landscape. But in this teaser, we saw a deer A zombie deer eating out a freaking dead wolf. Anyone who here
Eating
has
a dead wolf.
Huh?
Eating a dead wolf.
Yeah. Thank you for this small detail, dude. What I'm saying is, who all here has played any of the State of Decays? I know Matt has. Not Lynn. Nick, have you tried any of them?
It's not one I've tried. It's one I've been thinking about trying, but I didn't know if I should. I haven't heard anything from anybody I know about it. Is it a game worth trying?
Number 2, absolutely. I jumped into number 1 just to see where it started. But number 2 is like a third person. How would you describe it, Matthew?
Okay. So, the first one, I suggest don't playing because it's not that great. But
it doesn't age well. Yeah.
You see the linear part of it, but State of Decay 2, it's kind of an open world, third person. You're taking care of a house or bases. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. And you're going out, getting supplies, finding people, survivors, and helping them and bringing them back. And the types of zombies there are, wide variety, and a lot of menacing ones. Like,
Is this a single player game?
No, it's multiplayer.
You can co-op up to 4, right?
Yeah, co-op to up to 4.
All right. So if I download it, will you play it with me?
I will definitely hop into your world and help you out.
Okay.
So in the beginning of it, you don't want to go out at night because there's certain types of zombies that are more powerful at night that you don't want to deal with at the moment. It's very kind of fast-paced.
Visually, is it fair to say that it's kind of like Dead Rising as far as the third-person perspective of it, but then it also introduces survival mechanics where you have to collect supplies, build up your base, reinforce your base, right?
So let me put it this way. Let's say playing 7 Days to Die and Dead Rising at the same time is this game. Better graphically than 7 Days to Die, but whatever. It's fun. It's fast paced, and
what I'm hearing right now is Nick clicking the download button.
I suggest everybody to play it. Like, if you like zombie games, this is a zombie game you can dwell into because it's you can also take over somebody else's.
I have State of Decay 2 fully updated with all the DLC downloaded and has been for a while. Yeah.
It's a fun game. At first, I didn't try it out, but
I tried it out when it first came out, and I was like, this is actually really cool, dude. Like, it kind of felt like mechanically like you're moving around like in Splinter Cell, but you've also got guns, third-person shooting, and all that. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I started playing with State of Decay. I didn't really understand it back in the day, and then I finally downloaded it and started playing it, and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of pretty cool. Because you've got moments where you're you have a main campaign, but at the same time, while you're doing the campaign, there's these side things that you can do to help boost your morale inside your bases, and you can have multiple bases, and
Nice.
Hey, it's fun.
All right, so bottom line, guys, I think State of Decay 3 is going to be cool if it's anything close to State of Decay 2, which we're all going to probably try out, and I know Nick and Matt want to play a little bit of that, and Nick's going to experience it for the first time. So I look forward to your thoughts later, Nick, on how you felt about number 2, and then that'll give us the instinct of whether or not to jump into 3 later for sure. Guys, we only got through a few titles tonight. The biggest topic was Halo. Infinite, of course, and we didn't want to diminish the amount of time spent talking about a huge, passionate title that a lot of us love. So that being said, this is going to be a two-parter. We kind of decided that at the last minute. We do have a half dozen titles to get through in part 2 with, yes, teaser. We're going to dive in a bit to Destiny 2 Beyond Light. That's the fall expansion coming. The reveal and partnership that Microsoft has worked out to make things available on Game Pass. I say, what? Sorry, teaser. We're not going to dive into it. We're going to save those raw reactions for our next reconvening. And I promise you, the 4 nerds of the Nerdocalypse are going to try to reconvene for that part 2.
Indeed.
So, that being said, guys.
Nerdgasm.
Hopefully. I hope everyone enjoys part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1. You guys can check us out on YouTube or podcast form, wherever podcasts are found, and at one lovely website known as Nerdentialsmedia.com. Man, you guys are so in sync, not being in sync with me. It's incredible. I hope we have that same success in the closing here. That being said, guys, thanks for watching. For myself, Nick, Lynn, and the redheaded ginger Matthew, this has been your Nerdy Essentials. And as always, we'll see you on the other side.
It's okay, you're just getting old.
Hashtag truth. Nasty truth, but still truth.